For celebration. It is. Yep, it is. We do you not know? We had 3,000 subscribers.
I know, but the listeners don't. I'm giving you the opportunity to say it.
He's volleying it.
Okay. Well, sometimes you can be a bit unaware of things, so I just don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyway, we hit 3,000 subscribers.
Hey,
That's crazy.
Because of that, look at it. Look at this fucking list, Dean. It took me like half an hour to compile this shit. Look at this list here of 1,016 entries, or actually 1,146.
Oh,
look at
wow.
this. We're gonna do a drawing at the end of the show. So
Holy shit.
I didn't close the form, but if you're like trying to do it now, like that ship has sailed. But incredible milestone. They say the first 1,000 is the hardest. I would say that all of them are the hardest. This one was just as hard as the first first two. But yeah, it was nice because we had hit the milestone while we were at dinner with Max, our D&D buddy.
yeah, that was fun.
We got to hang out. We made steaks. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. And I guess that's all Dean has to say about it. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. 3,000 subscribers, in spite of the fact that Zach is here every day, that says a lot. The people really,
Wow.
Just kidding.
Wow.
I love you, buddy. I couldn't imagine doing the show without you. So
You couldn't, but
I literally couldn't, dude. So yeah, I think it's great. I didn't know we were doing the drawing today. I thought we were gonna announce it and then do it next week. But hey, I'm excited.
I'm tired of
see
plugging
who
that
wins.
thing. It took us way longer to hit that last
You're not
200 than I thought it would. I thought we'd zoom towards it. Ben, Eddie, what do you guys think about this?
I think it's awesome. I've been with you guys since before you were 2,000, because I remember getting all excited about the 2,000 subscriber giveaway and everything that we did that time. And so I don't know. I'm proud of you guys. Honestly, it's been a fun journey. I'm happy to have been part of it. I love you guys. You guys are like brothers, and the family and the community and everybody. It's awesome. So I'm proud of you guys.
Proud of you,
I'm pretty
Ben.
sure. I'm pretty sure that when I did the Christmas stream, you guys were at 600. But I have to. That's just the number I remember. But yeah, that's crazy. Congrats, guys. Way to keep hustling and way to bring Ben on and expand. And you guys are doing awesome. So
Thanks,
Marco's
bro.
been big help as well. Sometimes, I mean.
Yeah,
I don't want to tell him that.
misses
I don't want to.
Misses every other show. We had to redo the whole OxCon because his friend was getting married. It's not all about. We got Toy Mafia in the chat. Caffeinated Coffee Fan, Tukatri, King Dingaling, Universal Key, 12-inch Moose Dream, who we're going to be seeing at OxCon, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sam Gist, Lane Kramer, Alvin J. Congrats on the 3K. Lane says it as well. Yomo says 3,000 angels. Sam says congrats to the next. Here's to the next 3,000. We'll get there eventually.
are you doing a I love you 3000 sticker? That'd be sick.
No, I think it's a bit played out. I think every one of our peers that have hit this milestone have already done it, and I just feel like I made it a point to not use that quote because it's too overused. It's too played out. Let's see here. Let's run the intro, Dean. How about that?
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of lore gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ben.
I'm Eddie.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. Shout out to all the 3,000 of you in the YouTube studio audience and everybody else catching us on the replay, wherever you're listening to us on the podcast, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. I think we're on Tidal. I'm just
Amazon Music.
I think we're on Tidal.
We are.
Wherever you're watching us, shout out.
That's what I call him, Jay. I leave the Z off because I'm the Z. Anyways, we have kind of not a lot to talk about today, but that's never once stopped us. But Dean, before we get into any of this news, we have a very special segment that we start off all the best shows with.
Hell yeah, we do. You ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? So I got in. They launched a new issue or I guess it's a new comic line of Robotech Rick Hunter. I fell in love with this cover, so I bought the issue, the Virgin, and then the foil version, which I have to show on stream because it does not appear on photos very well. Look at this, dude.
Wow, a virgin holding
Absolutely
a virgin.
That's
gorgeous.
decent. That's awesome.
Zach, good one.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got those. Very cool. And then I also got the from Sweet Arc Fordo. I don't think he's in the chat yet. He messaged me and he's like, "Hey man, I picked up the clone trooper, the heavy clone trooper, with the bark speeder and the sidecar, and I don't really want the speeder or the sidecar. Do you want me to send them to you?" I was like, "Bro, hell yeah! How much?" And he's like $100.
What?
And then whatever shipping is. I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." So he went to the post office and shipped it to me. So I picked these up for $150.
Wow, that's extremely generous.
Extremely generous. In fact, it was so generous when he like sent me the message. I was just like so blown away. I was like, "Yeah, cool. Let's set up the deal. Like that's cool." And then like it wasn't until like a few days later that I had the message back. I was like, "Dude, I was so blown away. Like I don't think I came across like appreciative enough because it was such an insane like." I was so taken aback by it. I was like, "You're incredibly generous. This is an insane deal.
That's cool.
Thank you so much."
That's cool.
And
you know what you would say, Dean, if you didn't buy it?
What?
Wow, I just saved myself $150.
Well, I didn't save myself $150, so I paid him. And bro, these things in person are huge. It's really tough to just like convey it on camera, but I mean, if you know how big a 6-scale figure is, like you kind of have an idea. But even when I got the box is ridiculously giant, and I have like 13 clone troopers, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put Phase 1 Echo and 5s because they're kind of boring figures. They don't really have a lot going on, so I threw them on there. They look fantastic. Just an insane deal. I could not be happier. And now I'm really tempted to get that dude back. With how impressive this is, and the New Hope being kind of my bread and butter of Star Wars, I'm like, fuck, this is...
You're tempted,
awesome.
bro.
I'm super tempted.
I hope you do get it. That'd be fucking cool, man.
Yeah, so cool. I gotta clear up my line of credits so I could put that dude back on there because... Goddamn, $700.
Heck yeah, dude.
So apparently our join button isn't working for YouTube membership. So if you want to become a YouTube member, there's absolutely no pressure. That is the link there to do it. Just scroll up there in the chat. Sorry, Dean, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, I was just incredible deal. Shout out to Fordo.
Hey.
I do know his real name now, but I don't know if he wants that out there. So it's just Fordo for now. But yeah, and then Alvin J asked me if I'm going to get my comics graded. I really want to. So I got to work with Zach on that.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Like Merlin, it just keeps piling up.
Yeah, we got
Eddie,
a new channel member.
Yeah, DJ, a new channel member. Look at that. You asked for the link. A man of his word. You love to see it. Eddie, look at this. What is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on a Alien/Predator kick lately.
It's a
And
good kick to be on.
yeah, I've owned some NECA Predators before, but I've never had the Jungle Hunter or the City Hunter. So I picked the Damaged City Hunter up and the Jungle Hunter, and then the 40th anniversary Big Chap from NECA, and then I have the regular City Hunter Ultimate coming in a week, I think. But yeah, they're really cool. I love all three of these. I think the Alien is the best one. Like, it's a really good figure. It's really cool. I want to do some modding on the City Hunter. I think I want to put like glow in the dark paint and stuff on it to like make it all bloody and shit. So it's been fun, like messing with that. But yeah, I'm having fun collecting those. And then like, I know we did Alien for Movie of the Week once, and I like shit on the first movie. I actually kind of love that movie.
Can you do your impersonation of the alien?
No, I'm not doing it. That's why I did the pose. I did the pose of the.
Oh, you really did? You did do that.
Yeah,
that's great. That's fantastic.
That's on YouTube if you want.
I'm giving Eddie a point. Also, Hot Seat. I forgot to tell you guys this before the show. We're gonna stop doing like a standalone segment and just give you all points and losses throughout, just so it's a little less awkward. Eddie, you got a point for that because that's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, I rewatched all those movies this week because I got the figures, and I always like watching the movies when I get the figures. But yeah, I kind of love the first Alien now, and the same thing with Predator 2. I kind of didn't enjoy that one the first go around, and kind of love that one now. So I've been on that kick lately, and it's been fun.
That movie's so underrated, Predator 2. I fucking love Predator 2.
know,
I
man.
actually like it
city,
better
right?
than Predator 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in LA, I think. Dude, that movie's dope.
Yeah, it definitely has like more going on than the first one.
It really does. Yeah. I like the LEDs to match like the alien, the green. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you gonna get the Feral Predator when that one comes out, or are you not a fan of Predator?
Yeah. I have that one on. Well, it's not up for pre-order yet, but for some reason Amazon has a link already. Is it up for pre-order?
Yeah, it's been up for a while. It's on
Oh,
Big Bad
okay.
Toy Store. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I have it on. I guess it's sold out on Amazon. I have it on wishlist on Amazon, but I'll go check it
There
out
you go.
on Big Bad. But yeah, now I want to get. I don't know how many of these I want to get, but I kind of want to get all of the lineup from the end of Predator 2. I've been seeing those everywhere. So
The Los Angeles Lakers, bro. Fun fact.
wow. But yeah,
No, that's true. They didn't have enough people that were that tall to fit the suits. And I think it was the Lakers that they had some of the players dress
Really?
up in the suits. Yeah,
Well, I didn't
because
know
they're
that.
like
That's
7
cool.
I
feet
didn't know
tall.
that.
So
I
like
thought you were-
That's
they don't
funny.
just have like 7 feet tall people. Just those people don't exist. They're all in the NBA. So it's like
Gullible.
You know.
I thought you were trying to get me going.
No,
Wow.
no, not yet.
Not yet.
So
No, they all speak English.
from Dean, I picked up his copy of the N1. He was gonna either cancel it or get a refund, and we did an unboxing yesterday on the channel. It went. There was way less pieces than I thought. This guy did a video and he like sped up the assembly, and it looked like it took a long time. So I was thinking we'd be there for a while, but pretty simple little ship. But I like this figure a lot. It comes with the 3 3/4 Mando. Decided to keep it in the box at this point, but yeah, this is such a cool piece, and you know, kind of going to be rotating between the R5 or R4 in the back and Baby Yodes. But yeah, I got my Jawa here that Mark Pearson sent me, and then my Gonk droid. Actually, he sent me all the 3 3/4 stuff on the bottom. But
What are the? Did you 3D print those pit droids, or what are those?
I did. Yeah, I
That's
3D
sick,
printed
dude.
them. Yeah, they're a
Pretty cool.
fucking pain in the ass, but I did. They're so fragile. But yeah, so it's cool because you get the ability to display it like in hover mode or in flying mode. And I was a bit concerned from the Pulse announcement that in flying mode it would be, because this little space I have it in, it's right behind me. It's like real shallow, and I was concerned, but yeah, it fit right in, and really excited to have this. And I know there's a lot of people that are waiting till like December to get theirs, and it was kind of nice to get it a bit early.
You gonna do any weathering on it, or?
It's a bit tough. It is a bit tough. I don't know. I part of me wants to, but then part of me doesn't, because I know when you weather it, it gets a little less durable, and like I feel like everything now is pretty okay. It does have that weird Hasbro plastic where it's like that marbled effect. I hate that. I really wish they'd just use something with a little bit of flake in it. The silver parts, or the chrome parts, I guess in the front are really well done. Those are painted, but all this stuff that's a bit duller is just bare plastic. And there's some things that I'd like to try, but then like you're not really painting the panel because you have to paint around the yellow marks or redo the yellow marks, but they did really good on the yellow marks. So it's like, it's kind of like, is it worth it? And I always have this saying with like custom stuff, like, is it worth losing the forest for the trees? I feel like it's good enough, so I may just leave it as is, and maybe somewhere down the line pick up a second one. If I can find it on clearance, then I'll definitely pick up a second one to custom paint. But as it stands,
what that saying means. Is it worth losing the forest for the trees?
Yes. So if you're just focused on the trees, right, like the small details in the forest, you won't see the whole forest, right? So for example, let me tell you this. I have this saying a lot because there's a lot of times where something will be bothering me, like with a custom or like a project or something, and I have to go back and fix it. But sometimes in fixing it, you ruin the whole thing, right? So I'm focusing on this one detail, the tree, as it were. And if I mess up, I lose the whole forest. In my life lately, for the past like few years, I've learned to accept like, a tree could be out of place, but the whole forest is still beautiful, right? You don't have to lose the forest for the trees.
That's a pretty common expression. I'm surprised you've never heard that.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to explain that.
I thought the expression was.
I'm taking a Mexicans.
I thought the expression was you can't see the forest through the trees.
No, that's because you smoke weed, bro. Different kind of trees.
Wow. They say it differently.
Maybe that is the saying. That's how I've always said it.
You can't see the forest through the trees. For a very similar reason to your reasoning, I think.
I'm pretty sure Zach.
That's like
it's the way Zach says it.
That's like my stepsister once. She, the saying, "Don't look a gift horse in the mouth." She said, "Don't lick a good horse in the mouth."
Ew.
Totally different. It's not the right saying. It's not the right saying.
Don't. Actually, they're both common expressions. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Is to understand or appreciate a larger situation or problem. Because
here's a new expression: don't let Ben's sister near your horses.
Wow, interspecies erotica.
I did not suggest that, but
wow. Speaking of horses, Ben, how's your? Just kidding. One Piece by Hot Toys. Monkey, help me out here, Eddie. Monkey DeLuffy, DeLuffy. 275 July to December 2024. P-Rock from LWO dressed up as this character on their last stream, and I fucking laughed for like 5 minutes straight looking at that Instagram story. So I haven't seen One Piece, the anime. I plan to watch the show. I've heard so many good things about it, so I can't necessarily comment on a lot about this figure outside of the fact that I do appreciate the non-seamless body. I'm dying on that hill, like perpetually. I think that these figures need joints that are done well.
You're part of the problem, Zach.
I very well may be. I think the portrait. I've seen this guy do some interviews, I guess, like on YouTube Shorts. So the portrait looks just like the actor. I like a lot about this figure, but I feel like in order for me to fully appreciate everything that I'm seeing here, I really need to watch at least the show, the live action show. So
I think he's a well-known like Spanish actor. Like he does like Spanish shows or Spanish movies.
The one night Marco's not here. God damn it.
I know, dude.
Yeah, I hate to see it. Dean, what do you think about our friend Monkey here?
Okay, my first initial thought was, man, they are very. People usually fucking hate the live action, especially Netflix adaptation versions of anime. So I was like, I think they're putting the cart in front of the horse here. I think they're counting on people to not hate this. And apparently people don't fucking hate it. So this might be a step in the right direction. We're always asking Hot Toys to not do Star Wars and Hot Toys or Marvel and do something different. This is something different. Maybe it's not necessarily something you know or like, but hey, maybe you watch it, you're like, holy shit, I actually would not mind owning this in the collection. So I think it's cool. I initially, my reaction was like, ooh, this is going to be bad. But people seem to really like it. I have not yet watched it. I'll probably start it tonight. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I watched the whole series already, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I just binged it, and it was really fun and entertaining. And the characters, you have a lot of fleshed out characters here, and so that's really cool that they like got a background on all the characters, so you really fall in love with the characters. And I fucking love Zorro.
Each episode,
an hour.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I heard because the anime is like over 1,000 episodes, and I heard that this first season is like the first 200 or not the first 200 episodes, but they cut out all the filler bullshit that you know all animes have. Did you watch the anime? Like, can you like compare it or?
No, I haven't seen the anime.
Oh, okay.
But there's
I heard it's fantastic though, in getting rid of just giving you what you need to enjoy it. I heard it's phenomenal.
Now that I've watched this, I'm getting recommendations like for all One Piece stuff on Netflix, and there's a movie that came out in 2017, a One Piece movie called Episode of East Blue, and I feel like that movie is a compact, like kind of like Kai, where they put everything in one movie, except it's not like Kai was the show, but it's like that where
trim
they
the fat.
Yeah, and I think that whole movie is the first season. So if you want to like compare the anime to the actual, you could watch that, and it seemed pretty like scene for scene. And then I've seen like people post on Facebook and stuff, like there's a lot of like scene for scene accurate stuff that happens in the show versus the anime. But yeah, it was,
how many
really
episodes?
Cool. 8, I think.
Okay, so 8 hours worth of content. Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it, and now I am considering both of these. I ordered the figure arts versions of them, so I don't know if that'll keep me content. But these look really good. The thing, like, I'm the opposite of Zach. I guess I agree with the joints sometimes, but I feel like these guys, they're just so like bare. Like you could see all of their arms and shit. Like I feel like they should have.
But you couldn't do gummy stuff with a seamless arm, so
that's true. They wouldn't. With the shoulder, at least needed to be a joint, right? So they could swap out the arms. That's true. I just the elbow part, like even the knee, I don't care because it's covered, but the elbow kind of is jarring a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting. So I learned the other day that there was 1,071 episodes of the anime show,
and still going,
which is insane. So like, if you're planning on getting caught up, you've got some content to watch. That's for sure. I've heard the show's good. I haven't seen it yet, unfortunately, but I have seen a lot of side-by-side images of these figures with the actors themselves, and the likeness is pretty solid. I will give it that. It was interesting after the Let's Get Nuts show on Sunday. I had a few people reach out who said that the anime is still quite different in terms of some of the main storyline characters to what we're seeing with the live action. But when I kind of pushed back to say, okay, but is it still good? The person was still like, yes, definitely. It's just not totally faithful to the original, which I think is fine. I mean, artistic changes are good as long as the show is good, as long as it flows well, and it can make sense for people who haven't watched the anime show like myself, who doesn't have time for 1,000 episodes of television. I'd like to jump into the series and enjoy it. So I think for that, it's good. I am excited to see if they're gonna use kind of a similar idea with maybe a Mr. Fantastic down the line, if we ever see the Fantastic Four characters. Seeing some of these stretched limbs and stuff, that's immediately the character that my mind goes to, with the exception of obviously that would be a different suit style than what we're getting here with Luffy here, that has all of the exposed joints. I think though that this would be kind of a boring character if he had a seamless body, because then he would lose a lot of his dynamic ability, and there's not a lot going on with the figure. So I think it's cool that you can put him in all these funky ass poses, and the effects around the stretchy arms are kind of cool. So I think it's awesome.
Gilbert says he was not interested in the figure, but I started watching the show and OMG, it's so good. Definitely going to be getting this figures now. It's more exciting than the Ahsoka show. Let's see here. Yomo says that he saw the Netflix series and he's way more excited for these figures now. And Equan says that they somehow made a great show. So
well, I read or I saw somewhere that I guess the manga for One Piece is like one of the best-selling mangas, or like one of the, I don't know if it's the best-selling, most well-received or whatever. And then the anime is the like longest running anime ever, and then the live action is the first successful live action anime. So it's like this One Piece keeps hitting on all fronts.
Yeah, I used to read One Piece. I used to really love it, but it got out of hand and I stopped reading it. But I never got into the show, so I don't know how to. If I watch this, I have nothing to compare it to.
That's kind of why I watched it, because I was like, I'm intimidated starting 1,000 episode anime, so I was like, because I thought people were gonna hate this, because I feel like the trailers weren't well received or whatever, and I thought there's not a lot of hype around this, so I was like, let me watch this before I watch the anime, so I don't have that stigma towards the anime, like, to hate this. So
that's how I felt about the Bleach one, and that's why I wanted you to watch it, because I didn't watch Bleach. So when I watched the Netflix version, I was like, this wasn't that bad.
Wow, apparently there's a Pokemon live action. I didn't know about that.
Oh, that is it's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I thought about that. We also have Rorona Zoro. Eddie, I'll let you kick us off here because you're a big fan of this character. So tell us what you think about it.
Oh, he's really cool, dude. He's kind of like the strong guy of the team. He's the standoffish, like quiet hero that is the badass or whatever. Wants to be the world's greatest swordsman.
should name him Rorona Zach, bro. That would be a better name.
Wow.
Corona
Someone's got to swap your face on this one like they did P-Rock, dude. What the fuck?
Bro, that shit was hilarious. I was not expecting that when I saw that.
Just dye your hair green. You'll look exactly the same.
What's really cool about this one is the swap out head with the sword in his mouth. I don't know how that's going to work, if it's like the sword is just already in his mouth like that, or you have to kind of wedge it in there. I don't know. That's interesting, but he's definitely a cooler character, and then the fact that he has 3 swords is super interesting too. So, yeah, I'm more excited for this. And I really want this one, and I would probably just get Luffy as like something to pair it on the shelf with.
Yeah. Apparently, I mispronounced that terribly. Rainer said it's like his Patreon read. I don't know if it's that bad. He wants his looks exactly like Zach. Just put a sword in his mouth. Oh gosh, look at that. Again, I haven't seen the show. I don't know anything about these characters, but I did do a little bit of homework and also looked up some of the interviews that this actor was doing, and I think they got this portrait, both portraits, to be honest. I think they both have them really well done here. I like the hair sculpting here. I think it's has a lot of dimension. You also get the separate head there, like Eddie said. I think this looks great. I don't know that I would be interested even having seen the anime. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe I would be. But again, this one, $275 again, same release point as Luffy. But I think just from a sculpting and a figure perspective, I think they've done really well here. But we'll see how that turns out when it's released.
Was it on your stream, Ben, that Thomas told us he's like the son of like a very well-known Asian actor, or like someone that trained with Bruce Lee or something? Mm-hmm. Oh, Sonny Chiba is his dad. And apparently he's the guy from, I think he said he's from Kill Bill. Like when she goes to get her sword made, and there's that dude that runs the shop. He said
Tori Hanzo. You say arigato like we say arigato.
That's a good impression.
Wow.
I like that.
I don't know if you're allowed to.
It sounded exactly like the actor.
Yeah, it's different when you're doing a spot-on impersonation and not.
This is an amateur. Whoa! Wow. Minus a point for that, Eddie. How dare you? Jesus, you got us canceled.
I was just giving an example of what he was talking about. That's the only reason.
Okay, you still lost that point, Eddie. How dare you?
I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, Eddie. Now, the Luffy figure comes with swap out arms and stuff and like smoke effects and stuff. So he kind of seems like he comes with a lot. Zoro, again, I haven't seen the show, so I'm asking you. it's like 3 swords and some hands. Like, is there like more stuff he interacts with? Or is this really like, can you think of stuff that like could have improved this? Because to me, it seems very bare bones.
What I'm justifying it as him coming with 2 actual head sculpts.
Yeah.
That's how I'm justifying like what he comes with. Because there's nothing that I can think of in the anime or in the show that he did that like I could see him coming with. There's maybe like one thing, but it's kind of a spoiler, so I won't talk about it. But this is pretty much everything he comes with. That's the only way, like, because Luffy only comes with the 1 head sculpt, but you could swap the hat hair and then the no hat hair. So I'm justifying the 275 for this one by saying he has 2 legit head sculpts. I guess they could have done like swooshing effects for the swords, kind of how they put the mist effects on his arms, because in the show I don't really remember those effects on him when he does his like stretching power. So that they kind of just threw that in on the hot toy. And like in the anime, I know I've seen when he does the arm thing, like I've seen those white cloud effects on him. So I feel like the hot toy just threw that in. So they could have done something like that, like how SHF does those swooshing effects when they slash a sword or something.
That makes sense.
I did see Disney like released a little trailer scene from the show, and it was the scene where he has the sword in his mouth like this. So I think it's cool that the figure gave that to us. Yeah. I agree with you though. I wonder if you'll have to like wedge it in between the teeth, or will it come as a separate sword and mouth and headpiece? Like so weird. But I don't think 275 is that bad though. Now, I mean that's still about $10 cheaper than what we're calling a lot of standard releases, and the popularity of this figure is still pretty crazy. This show, I should say, worldwide is pretty crazy. So I think there'll be a lot of demand for it. I'll be curious to see how many they make of these and how quickly they'll waitlist, for sure. But
we will find out soon. Hot Toys also, they released Boba Fett, but I just feel like, Dean, this is blasphemy, but I feel like I'm Boba Fetted out. Like, we got the quarter scale, the bird shit Boba, the repaint Boba, this Boba. It just seems like it's just too much. And I understand that he is an important character that has a lot of looks, but I hope that for a little bit we get a little bit of a break from Boba, because I'm tired of seeing it, to be honest.
Wow.
I think the figure looks okay, but it's too much for me. It's fucking too much for me, Ben.
Yeah, as someone who buys a lot of Boba Fett, I was waiting for this one because it's very similar to the other ones, only it's like completed, right? He's not in like tethered robes. He actually has some pants on now. His armor's painted. It's not all fucking beat to shit. And it's seen some action, so there's some dings. It's not like perfectly clean. I was like, this is the one I'm gonna wait for. So I'm not really sick of Boba Fett because, you know, I'm just not that guy, you know. But yeah, it seems like this figure has like come out with a whimper. Like no one really gives a shit. Like I think I might be the only one. But I will own this, so I'm excited.
You get all of them just to get all of them? Or you specifically want this?
I used to get all of them, but Hot Toys are very expensive, and
yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the other looks, so I was waiting for this one. Because the other Boba Fetts I've found crazy deals, like $150 shit.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, I just want the unmasked one and get rid of the bird shit Boba, or they got the throne and they don't use that Boba Fett, so they're just getting, you know, so they just hawk the Boba Fett. So, yeah, to me, I was just been waiting for this one. So,
even though he's got the boot protectors there, Dean.
I mean, it's on every single one, but yes, there's just brown for some reason on this one.
I didn't realize there were this many differences between the repaint and this new one until I saw this on Ben's show on Sunday, and now it seems more justified why they released it. Like, I get it. I even think it looks good, like, with the red boots and the yellow knee straps or whatever, and, like, I think it looks like a cool like color palette, and then like the green. I like the green more on this new one than the older one. Like it's more vibrant green, so that's cool. I don't have any Bobas. If I had one, I think I'd just have the 2-pack because that was my favorite scene in season 2. But I still think that this is a cool release, and you know it'll go good with Fennec, and so if you're a Boba fan, I feel like that's cool.
Hodor317 says, I don't understand why this one doesn't come with a head sculpt. This is the Boba figure that would make the most sense to have a head sculpt, since he has his helmet off 90% of the time.
That's a good
Very
fucking
true.
point.
Very
That's
true.
a good point.
Hodor, if you were on the panel, I would give you a point.
I would give you a point. I was surprised how many differences there were, though, in the different armors there. I thought it was virtually the exact same figure as the Throne Boba, which is
no one will
clearly not the case. Fair.
Wow.
Boba Fett. But I would say, you know, for the folks who are like whose favorite character is Boba Fett, I'm still happy for those people that they continue, you know, to get to buy more things, because a lot of us have favorite characters where we get different representations of. Like for me, it's Batman. There's so many Batmans that I can get. Well, you've got so many different versions of Gandalf, though. Let's be honest, right? So
that was a joke.
like, yeah. So I mean, like I get it. I also think it just kind of depends on when you're getting into the hobby. At least there's still a Boba Fett for the folks who are just getting into it now. So it's kind of cool, and it's a good look for the figure. But I agree with Hodor. Definitely should have had a head sculpt. For me, I would rather go back and get one of the other ones that comes with it. Just has better value that way for sure.
Definitely. Thanks, Ben, for the photo. Definitely didn't realize the differences there. DJ says the only thing I don't like is the boot sleeves. Wish they'd stop doing that shit. Looks bad. We also got to see the Doc Ock, aka Chevy Chase.
Doc awful.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to like about this, but I think the portrait is just so bad, and I don't know. There was a stream. I don't remember which stream it was, because I follow a lot of you guys on Instagram, but one of the questions was like, for characters that you're only going to get, like this is probably the only Doc Ock that we'll ever see, you know, by Hot Toys, right? I don't think they're gonna randomly go back and make the Spider-Man 2 version. Should we accept this? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, to me, this is worse than the Tony Stark, like, Stuart Little portrait. Admittedly, this one we knew it was bad from the beginning, so it's not like it just changed to be bad, and I think that's why perhaps the outrage isn't there, but gosh, I don't think I've really seen a photo of this portrait that makes me even remotely think this is, like, the level that we should accept from Hot Toys, especially now. I'm curious if you guys
you think
agree or
the
disagree
third
with
party
that.
one is better?
No.
You think that's a better representation?
The which one? That one? The Toys
Yeah.
Era? I mean,
Toys Era. Yeah.
Let me look at
that one. Doesn't look anything like Doc.
Oh yeah, that's a good looking sculpt, but it looks absolutely nothing like
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina, thank you.
Yeah, it's also way underscaled.
Yeah, it looks tiny on that body.
Yeah.
I just and I know that in the film he doesn't, you know, because they de-aged him, right? So it is a bit uncanny, but this just doesn't really even look like. I don't think this looks like him, to be honest. I'm not.
I just put another picture in the show sheet chat for you, Zach, that I think that like maybe they've even
put the
used.
shit in during the week.
I just found it. I just found
Where
it.
the fuck you been?
Get that other pick on Sunday,
Jesus.
Ben. Sunnyville says, I don't think these... I'll pull that up in a second. I don't think these photos... I think these photos don't help. There's a good Chinese review out there that looks a lot better. Alvin J says it's not that bad. Sean Forster says, I think this Doc Ock looks just fine. The Big Dog Pound says, I like it. Maybe it's just me. And again, you know, we're just here to give our opinions, but I just don't like it, to be honest. Let me pull up Ben's photos here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I don't know if it's like the teeth that are throwing it off or what it is about this that just I'm not liking. And it's not like this is a cheap figure because you get all the arms and stuff, so the price is very, very much I don't want to say inflated, but it's high. And I feel like if you're paying that, you should be happy with it, and I wouldn't be happy I'm not from what I'm seeing. I wasn't gonna order this anyway, but it's like, oof.
It's a weird expression that he has on his face.
Yeah, he really only smiles once at the end when he sees Toby.
Yeah, I feel like they should have just done a plain Jane face. But I gotta admit, I'm not as passionate about it as you guys. I think it's fine to me. Like, I think it looks. I'd be happy with the representation in my collection. See that?
That's the photo I shared. I think that's close.
The hair looks a lot different. Now I'm more upset that the hair looks like that.
I just don't
he's
like
wearing
it.
a toupee.
Yeah, let me do one more thing. Let me do one more thing real quick. Just keep this
and then like he has the glasses. I feel like with the exception of Matrix 4 Neo, every figure looks better with glasses. Like you throw the glasses on there and it ups it by like 5%. So I don't know. But the picture on the left on the previous slide that Zach had up where he's standing on the legs, that's really fucking cool, man, and that just feels super nostalgic to Spider-Man 2. So I know he's from No Way Home, but that looks super cool, man. I'm tempted, but I don't know if I'm getting any of these villains.
That's fair. I do see the disappointment within the Spider-Man community of lovers out there that we just saw the Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man figure come out to like a pretty lukewarm reception. Some people really loved it, a lot of people really hated it, and then this guy came out and we've been anticipating it. I think the worst part is that they said when it first got solicited, it's a work in progress, so like don't roast us yet, like just wait please, like
I do remember
it's still being
that
worked
they
on
said that, Ben.
Right? And then so people said, okay, yeah, like, I mean, we'll wait. And then we see this and we're not happy with it. We've also been seeing a lot of figures lately that are incredible quality. Like the Artisan line from Hot Toys, the Inart Gandalf. Like some of these figures are so shockingly real now that when you see one that is previously maybe deemed an 8 or higher from Hot Toys, we would have been happy with that in the past. I think we're starting to expect a different level of quality. I still do think this looks like Alfred Molina way more than it does Chevy Chase. Even the original,
it's Chevy Chase, bro.
Even the original head sculpt, I didn't think looked like Chevy Chase. I do think
really
the glasses
did.
help, and I do think that the price is actually not terrible considering. If you got the deluxe pack that comes with the additional tentacles with the nanotechnology on them, that's quite a bit of extra material in the box. I've seen the size of the box; it's pretty large just in itself. I think that 320 to 340 price point that it is pretty solid. So I don't hate this, but you know what, if this is people's favorite character out there, then I can understand why you'd be upset or feeling frustrated. It's not a 10, but it's the way she goes, unfortunately. I think this isn't terrible at this point.
Wow, Alvin J wants us to run a poll. As a whole, not just the head sculpt. I feel like the head sculpt is very important, but let's see. Do you like?
Yeah, it's not like you can swap it out, eh? It's not a masked figure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll just do yes or no. How about that? We'll see what the YouTube studio audience says. Let's move on here. Chevy Chase. Now this is another portrait that I just don't. And I think what Ben, I gave you a point for this. I think what you said is just so true. Like, and admittedly, these figures that we're seeing now, obviously they've been in production or been in progress for much longer than these new figures that we're seeing. But when we see the Inart Joker, the Artisan Joker, the Artisan Anakin, the Gandalf, I'll be honest, I'm not too keen on the Pennywise, but I don't think I ever would have been. And then you compare it to both of these portraits, I feel like they are less than ideal. I feel like they didn't capture Haley Steinfeld particularly well, and so also it's kind of odd that we haven't yet had the pre-order for Hawkeye from the Hawkeye show. But what do you guys think? Is this am I just on one today? Am I just missing this? But
no,
I just don't think either of these are particularly good, to be honest.
This looks unfinished to me in a way. As I said, especially when we've compared it to such amazing head sculpts lately. I think beauty is also really hard to capture. Obviously age is beautiful as well, and aging is beautiful. But like when you're older, we've seen it with elderly sculpts. They're typically easier to master because they have really defined, sculpted lines within their face that help to capture that likeness. When you have such nice skin, such soft beauty, you know, we've seen it with even Scarlett Johansson, for example. Her figures are often not quite there. Like, they're good, but they're not like quite there. I feel like this Haley Steinfeld is kind of the same way. She's such a beautiful actress that the figure of her looks good, and you can kind of tell who it is for sure, but it's not beautiful enough. It's not real enough. It's like they can't quite get that beauty dialed in. And I don't think that the hair does it any favors. The hair makes it almost look animated, and again, unfinished. Like, there just needs to be almost what looks like more paintwork or something there. The only other thing that drives me crazy about this one is that little piece of toilet paper stuck to her chin. I know it's a stitch or a bandage in the show, but to me it looks like toilet paper she forgot to wipe off before the photo, and it's all I can look at when I look at her face.
She cut herself shaving.
She cut herself shaving. Like, Jesus. So if this went bargain bin, though, like, I know we don't see bargain bins much anymore. If it went bargain bin, I would still consider picking it up. I still liked the show. I still thought she was a memorable character, and even without Hawkeye, I would still consider putting her in the collection. So
yeah, I don't hate this one nearly as much as the Doc Ock. There's something about her nose. I don't know if it like feels kind of like punched down or something, but it's definitely not 90%. I would say maybe like 80% there, which is, that's reasonable. But Ben nailed it. The hair looks unfinished. Yeah, I feel like there could be like more strands and more dimension to it. I don't know if it's necessarily a problem with the paint, but it's just very like solid looking.
It's chunky.
Yeah, it's very weird, like soft serve almost.
Like one of those chocolate Easter bunnies you get, and you just scratched a few lines in it on the top.
Yeah. I think it looks good otherwise. The outfit looks cool. The accessories, I like all the little arrowheads on her belt. She's got everything she should have, including the Band-Aid. I know that's kind of annoying, but it's kind of, always there. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty solid release. Otherwise,
looks like we're at 56 to 44 yes versus no for the Doc Ock as a whole.
Wow.
Put up a second poll there for Kate Bishop. Same thing. Do you like the Kate Bishop? Let us know, and we will chime in a little bit later in the show. Has everyone had a chance to take a crack at this?
I feel like the right side picture looks better than the left for some reason. And really, it's just zoomed in, so I don't know why it looks better to me, but it does.
The lighting.
Yeah, like even her skin tone looks better on the right than it does on the left. See, that looks better to me too. I feel like this one's gonna be one of those ones that looks really good in hand. So I'll let you guys know if I feel any different once I see it in hand. I don't have it on order, but I'm sure I'll see it in person at some point.
You're not wrong. Because I've definitely had figures where I thought the photos looked like shit, and then I was like, it's actually pretty good in hand. Like the 3-0 Jon Snow season 8.
Oh yeah.
That photographs terribly, but in hand it's like not that terrible.
I felt that way about Endgame Loki.
Yeah.
I feel like the Sansa is the same way. I feel like all the reviews and pictures look like crap, and then in hand it looks a little better than it does. But
yeah, I guess there's some like dimensionality you don't get in a photo.
I feel like I agree with you guys on the hair. I feel like the hair lacks detail. Like it's like not defined enough in the strands, I guess. But I do like the hairstyle. I don't know. But also, even if it was perfect, I like the Hawkeye show a lot. But I feel like the character isn't needed in collectible form. Like I don't need her, so.
There'll probably be another version of her as well that he is, at some point.
Oh yeah, once they do.
Just literally her next appearance, right? I wouldn't be surprised. As an archer, though, I think it's cool that she can get her bow hand up as high as she can. Like I like that you can see this pose. From the Sideshow unboxing I watched, it looked like it's at least a double jointed elbow, but it was hard to tell. But still, I think it's posability wise, looks pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go. Alvin J says, never forget Cable. You guys loved it in hand. Yeah, Alvin, you'd get a point there too, Alvin.
What if we want to forget Alvin?
So this is the second release from Inart in as many weeks. This is the Pennywise, shipped officially according to their timeline 8/31. To be honest, like I've always said this, I don't quite have the eye for basically any other character other than Gandalf and Vader, so I'm completely useless here. I don't like these films. I saw the first one in theaters, did not like it. Tried watching the second one, did not finish it. And I know that Will Foxification, he's a much better person to go to for information on this character, I think, admittedly, than the rest of the panel here. So I think he put up a video. I hadn't yet watched it. I like to kind of keep my takes fresh for our show, but I know that he had some concerns similar to I had to Gandalf, so I would recommend checking out his stream if you want to see anything else on that. But I think as a figure itself, I think it looks okay. They did introduce here a new hair rooting effect. They basically said that unlike our previous rooted processes, which was a meticulous piece-by-piece endeavor, rooting involves even more hours of labor and meticulous attention to detail, resulting in a higher level of craftsmanship. And they go on to say, like, this new technology is going to sort of be the standard for them going forward. I don't quite know what the difference is, especially after reading this statement a few times. But I do like the way that they've rooted this. And I always said with the WB 100 Wonder Woman that it didn't, like, the way that the hair met the sculpt just wasn't right. And I like this to me looks like a much more natural hairline than on that WB 100 figure. So I'll be interested to see if this new rooting technology also made it into Gandalf, or if this is the first figure that they're doing this on. Apparently, Sean says we'll put up a retraction video. We found a much better pictures that make the figure look 100 times better.
Yeah,
I try not to watch other people's stuff before our show because I feel like it'll sully my take. But Dean,
if you share my screen, Zach,
yeah, I was on Will's show on Friday, and we were talking about it. The initial pictures that we got that we were just looking at, it was futzed terribly. Like, the collar was just a mess, the shoulders, the shit around the hands. And I said on the show, I was like, if you get somebody with this figure in their hand, they futz it properly, I'm sure it's going to look fantastic. Because, we've seen figures that look terrible, but with the right person can really bring it to life. This looks properly futzed.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying about the... well, I don't know what you like, the bib, I guess, or whatever you call that clown outfit neck piece. The
bib.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it. I'm not a fucking clown, Eddie. You're a clown.
There's that picture of him.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
And it just looked like it was just kind of like just take some photos. So it's nice to see somebody get it together and properly do it.
Ben, those if you go back a few photos, do those come with the figure, the map, and then that little I guess that thing you showed on the previous one?
I think it depended on the edition. It's like a circus ticket, but I think it depends on your tier.
Gotcha. And I remember when this figure was first solicited, there were some people complaining that I think it only came with one clawed hand. Do you know if they ever gave us the second one? Because I think their initial statement was like in the movie he only has the one for that specific scene. These do look much better though than what I was showing, so I appreciate you bringing these up. Again, I don't know. I can tell you when something is futzed better, and that's the thing I'm worried about with Gandalf is it is so much fabric. This has a lot of fabric too. It's so much fabric and hair with Gandalf, like the beard, the hair. You got the robe that's already a lot of fabric. Then the second robe that's a lot of fabric. I do think there's going to be some people that are going to be a little frustrated with both of these figures, trying to manage all these different layers of fabric.
Yeah, definitely. I think Pennywise, the clown, is not for my collection. So it's hard for me to want this figure, as cool as it is. But I think the cool factor of it and the artistry that's kind of behind it is a draw. I was saying on the show the other day with Eddie that like for me, it would be cool to have like a Halloween display where, you know, I could have a Pennywise and maybe a Michael Myers, a couple of my other favorites out on display in Halloween and not necessarily display them year round. This is terrifying to look at, though. It looks so good. Now, again, not necessarily a Pennywise expert. Talking to Will, it sounds like there are some tweaks that could have been made. I don't think it's as dramatic as like the pants print on the Gandalf, Zach. I think it's some minor tweaks and potentially some futzing. I agree with you. I think these photos are definitely superior to the initial photos that we got. So I think people are going to be pretty happy with this. And at this point, I would say this is 3 home runs for Inart. Really, the Joker I loved. That Gandalf looks fantastic. And this doesn't look like it's going to disappoint. I do think that the hair, like, though, because this guy has like the thinning hairline, it's cool that you can see more of the individual strands of hair going into his sculpt, and it's terrifying to look at. So yeah, no, I think looks like they've done a really good job. I'm excited for people to get this in their hands. I'll be curious to see also how many Hot Toys ones really hit the market once people start getting these, just like the Jokers did and other Gandalfs.
I feel like you don't have to sell the Hot Toy. I think you could keep both. He has so many poses and stuff. I mean, I know people need money now, so like it doesn't. You got to sell stuff to get stuff these days. But if you really wanted to, you could keep both. I think, and having different heads and different displays, and the Hot Toy base is really cool. I actually think I like the Hot Toy base more than this one.
I do too.
With the
sewer. It's like the sewer. Yeah. And just as a place to store the extra head is amazing.
But, that's a cool option too. So I think it looks good though. I didn't see a bunch of jarring things. To be fair, I didn't look in depth in the original like China photos that we got. I didn't really check them out too much, but I thought it looked good. And I don't know. I feel like I give Inart the benefit of the doubt because I'm a bit of a fanboy now, but I think it looks good.
I'm with you though, Eddie. I think if you already have the Hot Toys one, unless Pennywise is your favorite character, then that Pennywise should absolutely be more than sufficient for like a horror collection in your collection room. I think it's only that if like this is your absolute number one favorite horror character, then sell the other one and upgrade potentially. But
it would be nice, so Will has the Hot Toy and then he's gonna get this. So I would like to see comparison videos just to see how stark the difference is. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're both amazing. But then like it could be like that Boba where you put them next to each other and you see like really big differences. So that'll be interesting to see those videos.
The new Batman figure is also going to be that when it comes out.
See, because I was like that with that one. I was like, the Hot Toy's fine.
Dude.
Hot Toy's going to be great. And then I saw like more photos of the Batman. I'm like, damn, that Inart one is sick. So I don't know.
I think as collectors though, I feel like we should do better. Like, to y'all's point about keeping both, right? Like I think the Hot Toys is if this is better, like we don't know. I haven't, not that I've seen a review of this, but I haven't yet seen a video of them side by side. But the Hot Toys one isn't automatically just like garbage, right? Same with like the Jokers, right? The old DX figures. A lot of people were trashing that figure when, to be honest, up until before Inart had shown theirs, a lot of people would consider that one of the best Hot Toys ever made. In fact, this is a long time ago, 2019, I think it was maybe 2020, we did a best of, I think it was like 150 Hot Toys, and the DX11 beat the Hulkbuster as the best Hot Toys ever made. Right?
Wow.
And the number of posts that I've seen just completely trashing the Asmus Gandalf. Like, for its time when that figure came out, it was a pretty solid figure. Like, people, it was very innovative for the hobby. Now hasn't aged as well now that we've seen the Inart one. But I still think that there's, Jokers that are really good that aren't Inart. The Hot Toys is still a pretty good figure with a really amazing base. And I do think there's a lot to like about the Asmus Gandalf, but I think a lot of people on the groups, have been super negative to past versions of other figures, including the Hot Toys Pennywise. And it was, how dare you, Eddie? I'm gonna minus a point for that. The whole speech was to promote Asmus. That's my transition to. Oh, I didn't put it in the show sheet. God damn it!
If you've seen Clerks 1, it felt like a sales pitch. Like when he's talking shit about how he should be selling gum to fucking people instead of cigarettes, and he's a piece of shit, and then you find out he works for the gum company. You're like, what the fuck? So that's how that felt right there.
I
like,
have
whole sales pitch.
Here, keep this going just for a second. Damn it, that was my
I
great
agree with you,
transition
though, with
to this next slide, and then I forgot to put the damn slide in.
I agree with we throw out our old shit or are quick to like, oh fuck this other stuff when something.
It's
better
like that
comes out.
Andy meme. It's like, I don't want to play with you anymore, bro.
Yeah, that's true, and I feel like there's a lot of good from that stuff. You don't need to. As collectors, we should collect and not just rotate or like throw shit out. You know.
I did take my DX11 down though when I put the Inart up.
Oh,
I put him back in his box. I'm gonna keep him. I've got him up on the shelf up top in his box. Like the box art is cool just in itself, but I don't know. It's too similar to what I had now with Inart. Like 3 of them didn't make sense. I don't know how Marco's gonna still justify 4 in his collection. So.
What a goober. Yeah,
he's doing it to piss off Gigi. That's the only reason he's doing it.
Depending on the character, for sure, I just stockpile them. You know, I have like 8 different versions of Cloud, and each one is.
He's got a whole damn sky in his fucking closet.
You son of a bitch. Each version has something cool about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, is the newest version maybe have like a more accurate like face? Okay, sure, but like the hair might not be as good, the paint might not be as good, the articulation might not be as good,
the pants might not be as good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
great segue, Ben.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's that newest is best. So let me just sell the old shit to get the new shit. It's like, but the old one had special stuff about it too. The DX07 has fabric fucking, or the DX12 or whatever the Joker is, has fabric shoes. The Inart doesn't even have fabric shoes.
That's actually
the new one doesn't have fabric shoes.
That's such a good point, Dean. That drives
me nuts. Those bitches in the closet.
And that's a really small detail, but it's like that is something about that figure that excels. So you don't need to just trash it.
Like this one has printed pants.
I feel like I should have gotten a point for that, but
you should have got a point.
I'm gonna give you a point. No, you're right. I don't.
Why is this guy so tanned?
All right, so
wow. That's true.
Minus a point for Ben. So we talked about this. We talked about this. We talked about this months ago. But for years, Asmus has been planning to update the portrait. Look at Eddie's falling apart. Glad he's
you stumbling over your words. You don't even know what's Asmus and Inart anymore. That made me fucking laugh. Dude.
I do. I'll just check the pants.
Give yourself a point.
So, well, hang on. Let me get her out of the damn point. Asmus has finally released their long-promised upgrade to their Crown Series Gandalf, but I feel like as this does look better than their first attempt. I will say that. But at some point, the cost that they're kind of putting forth to upgrade your own figure, I think as collectors you have to think like, you know, because the hat, you could get it for free if you bought another figure, or you could pay them, I think it was $25 to ship it FedEx from wherever they're at. This is $120, and I think the shipping when I bought one of their portraits was $15, so $135. You can get the whole Crown Gandalf for $530. And I feel like the price point that they've put this at, it's just too high. And I know it's high because it is a lot of work to root these and paint them and to do all this stuff. But I feel like it becomes like, you know, the analogy that I'd say is like when you have a car that's a bit old and it's like you can keep throwing money into it to try to get you from point A to point B, but eventually you just have to get a new car. And they've said that they plan to support this figure for a while with upgrades, right? So we got the hat, which was, I think, the worst part of that set. They're replacing the portrait. And I don't want it to be this thing where every few months they're coming up with a new $50 to $100 upgrade, because at some point you could have just bought the Inart. And I feel like this price point is too high. This is a photo of a collector that had the original portrait with those eyes that are really sunken back. It's my biggest complaint with this figure. And this is with the...
It's like he's looking to the sun. He's like, huh? Frodo, is that you?
Doesn't look like he has eyes.
You know what he's saying, Dean?
It cannot be.
Blinded himself.
Frodo, is that you?
Anyways,
This looks
I feel
really
like
good.
you guys don't care about what I'm saying.
Frodo's
So
so
we're gonna
small.
move on.
I do care, Zach. I was
Ben,
waiting.
no
I
one
was
cares.
waiting to give you a point.
No, I'm gonna give everyone a minus point.
I like
it-
that you said something constructive about it, and you weren't just like,
did too.
No, I
fucking
did.
love Asmus.
Now,
yeah, I know. That's
with,
why I
with
was
all
like,
that being said, I feel like part of me wants to buy this to
Oh,
compare, because I really feel like we could compare. Hey, this is the Crown White.
How
Basically,
much is
with
it?
this portrait, 120. Basically,
you
with
$20
this deal. Basically, what this portrait is, Dean, it's the Gandalf the White portrait. They've just put the gray hair on instead of the white. So that's why they're now doing this now that they have this.
Take it out of the CW money, Zach, and go ahead and
go.
get this.
I think.
we'll do
I
it.
think the price is justified. I will say. I think that this initial head sculpt that they have here on the left with the sunken-in eyes is terrifying. I don't think that looks like Gandalf at all. Honestly, it looks like an old man like on the
Looks
street.
like the
it
mummy
freaks me
when
out.
he sucks the dude's eyes
Yeah,
out.
it's
He
not
has no
good.
eyes.
For $125, I think this is like a major
Wait, you're saying the old one
upgrade.
looks bad or the new one looks bad?
The old one looks bad.
Yeah, this photo does not do the old one justice.
for sure, but
at all.
I've still seen like you.
You're
even
right.
showed
It
your
is.
old one.
It is.
Like,
It is like a really bad part of the figure.
yeah, and like I was
Jesus,
teasing
dude.
this Gandalf being a little on the tan
Wow,
side.
he sent it. Now, hang on. Let me preface. Sorry, Ben. I don't want to interrupt you because Dean actually just sent me $20. Okay, so the thing that Asmus has said about this is they're only releasing 15 at a time because of how long it takes to make it. So
Okay, if you don't
sold
get
out.
one, you owe me.
I will send you the $20 back.
I want that.
Anyway,
back.
sorry, Ben. I didn't mean it. He sent me $20. I had to stop him before he sent more.
All good. I just like
I wasn't gonna send more. I said 20.
you were saying that you didn't think that this would make sense, which I agree that over time you could have just bought in Inart, but I think if these little extras help you enjoy your figure more, I think like that's important too, kind of in the moment, not waiting for a future release. The other thing, and like I get it, the Gandalf is here now, but like I had this experience with my DX 12 Batman when I swapped the head out for an Armory Batman head sculpt cowl instead. It for me elevated the figure dramatically to the point where I've now skipped the DX19 because I don't feel like I necessarily need it. It like and that cost me I think about $60 to get that head sculpt. This has the rooted hair and looks more like Gandalf than the other one ever did. I think for $120, I think it's a win.
And I think that's a good point, right? And now, obviously, I think everyone's all about the NR at the moment, but there is something to be said where you could only spend $120 like today, or spend $530, right? So you're 100% correct, Ben. I think my problem is though that I really wish they would have bundled these together because, the hat technically could have been free if you purchased this, right? Because at that point it was any Lord of the Rings related product you get that hat for free. But at this point, like I spent my money for the hat, I spent my money for the upgrade head for the first Gandalf the White that they made. Now I'm spending more money for this now upgrade for the gray figure, which to be honest, I was planning to use my Crown Gandalf on the cart that I'm making. This head would make that look like 1,000 times better. So I think you may have convinced me a little bit, Ben, and Dean sending me $20 as well definitely went a long way. But let's I think we touched it all here, but let's move on.
Touch it more.
Toys Wonderland. So I won't attempt to recap. It felt like it was the stream of the century, and there was a well, let's leave it at that. It felt like everyone that was supposed to in the hobby was there. I saw Eddie in the chat. I saw I saw like it was like you tell your kids that you were there, right, on Justin's Collections stream, and he had basically, I'm not going to even attempt to summarize why he had decided to split from Toys Wonderland. The stream is a few hours long, but he kind of shares some of the details throughout. But Toys Wonderland responded with a quite a long post, and I won't read it to you in its entirety because it is very long. But I will summarize it basically just the bullet points that they're giving us here. So I'll read this first paragraph, though. Established in 2019, our company's humble beginnings can be traced back to my own home's rooftop. The immense support we receive from global collectors over these short 4 years have propelled us to where we are today. Skipping forward, with this rapid expansion has come unforeseen challenges. Our swift growth outpaced our preparedness, leading to a myriad of problems. These issues resulted in dissatisfaction among our collectors, a concern we are earnestly striving to address. We're immensely grateful for the patience and support shown by collectors during this period, and we're committed to learning from these experiences and improving our services moving forward. So in this post, they address customer service concerns, address shipping and order management concerns, pre-order and special batch pre-order concerns, acknowledging the support from Justin and their commitment moving forward. So at the moment, there's a lot of people who are encouraging everyone to cancel their orders that they have with Toys Wonderland. There are people who are encouraging people to keep their orders. One comment that I saw likened it to a bank run in which everyone pulls their money out of a bank and crashes said bank. I will just say that you should do your research on Toys Wonderland as a company. You should do your research on issues that people have had with this company recently. Decide how much money that you have invested with them at the moment and whether or not you want to keep your orders. Now, in the post, they do say that they have a commitment to fulfill everyone's orders, but I would do your own research and do not get burned. My personal advice would be, if you're still within 6 months of PayPal protection, you're fortunate because you would be able to get that money back, hopefully. But as far as if you're past that point, it's really in their hands whether or not they will grant you a refund, as PayPal or your credit card typically won't pass that point. So if you guys want to speak on anything about this, you're welcome to. If not, we can move forward. I don't really like getting involved into other channels' drama/situation, but I felt it was important for us to share this little bit of this story, as we did finally have a statement from Toys Wonderland to address.
I think it's good that they're trying to get better and help their customers, and so I appreciate all that, and I appreciate they put out a statement and everything. And the only thing that I didn't like about the statement is every single, it's like I read it on Instagram, and it was like 5 slides of different what they're gonna do going forward and where they're at. Every single paragraph mentions, again, due to our rapid growth, again, due to how big we're getting, again, due to, it's like, companies grow. Did you not plan to, why do you keep trying to, excuse your shitty years by keep saying, we grew so fast, it happened over 3 years. Could you not keep up with 3? It's not like you went from one night to the next day you were so why do you keep trying to excuse how you've treated your customers? Just say, you know what, we fucked up. You don't need to keep saying, again, due to our have patience with us and all this shit. No,
it's because of you guys. You guys bought too much. We grew too fast because of y'all. So you got to be patient.
Yeah, it's less owning it.
Yeah, that was the only thing that annoyed me, but at least they're trying. So that's good.
Yeah. And these are 2 totally different situations. But I would just say, as someone that this year has twice basically had their money held ransom by companies, one, I did get my money back. The other, I'm still without my Twig #1 comic. It is incredibly frustrating when you're at the whim of other people to do the right thing. And that's why I personally urge, if you're within that amount of time, get your money back. If you feel that what you've read is sufficient to keep your order, by all means. But I think it's important as collectors, as individuals, that we all do the research and make the conclusion that is best for us, right? There are things that they have access to at TW that you might not get anywhere else, and if that's a consideration, perhaps you keep your order. But I think it's so important that everyone that has an outstanding order really considers the treatment that the average collector gets rather than past treatment that others have gotten. So that's what I would say.
For sure. I think you make great points there, Zach. I also, no business necessarily lasts forever. Things change a lot, right? This is a Hong Kong reseller. It's not necessarily an official distributor of these hot toys, so that makes it in itself a little bit more volatile, a little more risky. We just saw Big Chief Studios not too long ago, close their doors, right? Which was shocking to a lot of people. And some people will probably lose their money there as well. I don't, like, from my personal experience, I've had 3 figures come from Toys Wonderland. The first 2 were before I even knew any drama existed in YouTube and the community and all of those things. I was like a brand new collector at the time. And the reason I went there was because I was looking for figures that were no longer available. I couldn't get them from Sideshow here in Canada. I had to go elsewhere to find them. And it felt risky when I bought them until the day they arrived. And then similarly, last year I wanted the Killmonger figure. Couldn't find it anywhere. And got mine from them, and it came, and it was all good. So, like, I personally had good experiences, but I can see obviously there's a massive amount of people that haven't. So I think you nailed it, Zach. Do your research to the best of your ability. There are a lot of businesses out there that still sell these, or resellers who seem to be more reputable. But at the same time, if they had the same growth trajectory that Toys Wonderland had, I'll be curious to see if those folks could also keep up with that demand. We are a very demanding group. There's a lot of us, and we tend to buy a lot of stuff. So I can see kind of where they're trying to draw their point from, but I agree, Eddie, it seemed like a lack of accountability to the problem. And yeah, I mean, as far as Justin's drama goes, I don't like talking about other people's drama that I don't know anything about, other than he's always been really consistent with me, both on air and behind the scenes. He's always been very kind to me and seems as genuine as a lot of people out there that I've met. So
wow,
I hope he's able to separate. I hope he's able to separate himself from that drama too, and get back to enjoying the hobby like we all should.
You guys can't let shit go, okay? You have to call it out right when it happens, okay? That was a fucking horrible pronunciation of that word.
What did I say? Genuine? Genuine?
No,
what
you
do
said
say?
genuine.
Genuine?
Now I know how Ben feels when I say data.
Exactly.
Data. I'm sorry, data. Wait, what is the right one? What is the right one?
Data. It is
what about
data.
What about
data? Yeah.
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah, I was triggered when you said that, Eddie. I was very triggered. Yeah, Eddie, I heard it, but he was making a very thoughtful little
That's
speech
the
there,
perfect
so.
Pony
moment
started
for
playing
shit.
in my head, and I couldn't.
Bro, exactly. Exactly.
Ride my pony.
Let's see here. So we hit 3,000 subscribers, so we have a giveaway at the end of the show. I guess just briefly, Hans says Canadians don't say genuine like that, just FYI.
Wow.
If you guys want to drop us some comments for 3K questions, I guess we'll do like a mini Q&A.
3K?
3K, baby.
What? What the
Wow.
3K? 3K?
No.
That's great.
No.
Wow. Go again. Just keep going. List. Let's play all our clips right now.
Zach looks so fucking unentertained.
3K.
I don't know why it reminded me of Halo.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I see that.
Wow.
It's very serene.
I know, right? Jesus Christ. Any more, Dean? A lot of clips there.
There's a lot. I'm like, holy shit.
3K.
That does feel like
And
Trappers.
let's go.
3K.
I was about to do that one. Hell yeah,
3K.
Begin by activating my pot of greed.
Okay, that's enough.
Oh.
Gorilla roar. You love it. 3K.
Because we're soaring with the
man.
Eagles.
Oh man. I don't know where any of this is going.
Makes
Anyways,
me
we're gonna
want
do a
cake.
drawing in a few minutes. Equan might win again. Who knows? Yeah, I think he had the most entries again because he watches every show. Let's see here. Might want to check out the last 3 minutes of Mr. Mom's collectible stream. Was calling some folks shills for not taking hard sides against Justin. Were we involved? Were we called out, Mr. Musashi? Let me know, because I haven't seen that one. Episode 284. Let's see here. The Tide. Ben, tell us about this. This was your topic idea. It was great. And let's talk about it.
I don't remember the setup now for it.
Oh God. Jesus, man.
What did I write for it? Give me the synopsis. I come up with okay. For the record, I come up with a lot of questions.
Dude has his own show slides on the background, but doesn't remember what he said.
He had those pictures on Sunday, Dean. He didn't send them to me once.
I have an open profile with you, Zach.
I know, but I don't. You gotta tell me you have good photos in there. Let's see here. God, we type. Yeah, thank you. We type too damn much in this damn chat. I can't even find it. Whether or not that we the tide of whether we pre-order, wait for release.
Is the tide shifting within?
Thank you.
Within collecting. So the reason I posed this question was obviously there's been a big period of time over the last year or 2 years where everybody was talking about, no PO, no PO anymore. That was just kind of the way it was, right? Then we were conditioning ourselves to feel that way. We were conditioning other people to feel that way because it didn't totally make sense to put money into collectibles and have all these long wait times, or to then get them in hand and have them depreciate in value. And so lately we've seen this shift to things being waitlisted more often again, and seeing that need for that day one pre-order again. Or is it really a need? Is it sales conditioning from the companies? So the question I have for you guys is, do you feel like this change in tide is going to stick around? Or do you think this is temporary while they recondition us to start buying figures again, and then we'll turn the dial back and we'll start seeing those wait lists go away?
I am.
What's your question?
Just kidding.
I feel like Lane.
I don't know. It's tough because they're sprinkling in these releases where you absolutely cannot wait. Right? You have to pre-order them instantly. They're sprinkling in things that are very fast turnaround stuff. They're wow. Jesus, apparently there's a lot of drama. Sorry, I'm not gonna read that.
Am I allowed to speak candidly about this shit, or should I not talk about this at all?
Private chat, what you're talking about. It is tough, right? Because basically, as soon as, and I mentioned this a few shows ago, but as soon as these figures release overseas, they are like instantly waitlisted in the United States. And again, the perspective that I'm speaking of is someone that just orders from Sideshow or mom and pop stores. I think once I've ordered from overseas, not including the Asmus figure, but like from an actual overseas retailer. Dean, I think you've done it for your Rocket, and I think you had a pretty good experience with it. But I've never.
I did.
I'm not like the kind of y'all. I don't like making content. I don't do reviews. I don't get this day one stuff. So I have no interest in ordering elsewhere. So yeah, I just for me it's changed. I feel like once there's that rumor, because Ben, we get those rumors like a few days before. Like if you're not made up by that point and locked in an order, then you're on the wait list. And I would say for me personally, admittedly, I've been jumping on the wait list for things that I'm interested in quite late, like Crosshair. My success rate is quite low. Traditionally, historically, it's been pretty high. But there are quite a few figures. In fact, just maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I converted on the Sideshow Symbiote Spider-Man. I already have the statue from the Sideshow Seconds, but I was on the wait list for a long time. So I certainly think, Ben, the tide has changed. I think you have to be... I don't think it's a dopo, absolutely, but it's certainly a before release pre-order. You have to, before it releases in Hong Kong, you have to order. You have to have it locked down. Alvin J with a super chat. Did you guys notice that local stores are getting the sold out stuff more and more, and also able to pick up Sideshow exclusives? So the retailer that I am most familiar with, actually the two retailers I'm most familiar with, Stevens Collectibles and Collector Zone. It's my understanding that they, like, you know, if a figure has a Sideshow exclusive version and then a normal version. Now I could be wrong, but just from my own experience for the figures that I've been interested in, they have not ever been able to get the exclusive version. They could get the regular, but not the exclusive. It's also my understanding, and again, this bit of information is from a long time ago, so it may be different. This was before all this shit happened, where things are changing. But when I talked to some of the retailers that are local, it was my understanding that the quantity of stuff that they order from is a totally separate quantity than, you know, we would order from, right? There's different batches of stock and different quantities, allotments set aside for the different parts of Sideshow's business. So I don't know if that's still true. I also am not 100% sure on the exclusive things, but every time I've ever asked, it's always been they can only get the non-exclusive stuff. And Avin here is saying that his store has exclusive, so it's possible that they can, or that those were traded in. Yeah. But what do you think, Dean? You I don't think you pre-order necessarily quite a bit, but I'm curious what you think if the tide is changing that you notice in the community.
Yeah, I remember talking about this a long time ago because everyone was talking about bargain bins and don't pay retail and wait for all the sales. And I said something to the effect of, yeah, if you keep doing that, though, they're going to stop ordering all this shit. And then there's going to be a shortage. And then you're going to have to be forced to order shit again. And it's exactly what we're seeing. I'm not calling myself a prophet, but it's like, that's a pretty reasonable thing to assume, right? So if everyone stops pre-ordering, they're not going to order 8,000 of a figure. They're just going to order, you know, a handful. So I think the tide is definitely shifting because so many people were just like, oh, well, I'll wait for the bargain bin. And like Ben said earlier, like if this figure ever goes to a bargain bin, that might not even be a possibility now. Whereas, you know, even 6 months ago, it was like, oh, there's going to be a bargain bin on this.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the tide is definitely shifting. I always say, because people are like, wait for the sale. It's like the sale is what? Save on shipping, 20% off. Gee, thanks. So it's like if you see a figure that you know you want in your collection, just fucking pre-order it. Like, don't do any money down. Don't let them sit on your money for a year. Just pre-order the fucking thing and wait for it to come out and then buy it when it releases. That's what I do. I just, the figure's out, I want it, I go buy it. So I always go to the retailer because, like Zach said, it's, from what we understand, it's a set. They have a separate allotment, and those people are gonna have those figures if they, you know, keep them stocked, which you know, in our city they usually do. So it's like that Boba Fett. I know that I'm probably gonna just be able to walk in the door and buy it. But yeah, just if you know you want something, just go ahead and pre-order it.
Because like I feel that tide has changed for my like collecting in a sense. The figures that I used to be like on the fence with that I might buy, I've now like put aside. Like they've become an entirely different like want for me. The figures that I feel like I need for the collection have taken priority because now I don't feel like I have that 1 to 2 year gap of time at times, depending on the figure, for me to be able to lock in a purchase and save the money, put it aside. The hard part about like your point, Dean, of just like if you want it, buy it, is that obviously the economy is challenged right now. I think that's part of the reason that companies are doing this as well, right? They need to ensure their bottom line. They need to stay in business, especially if economic times get harder. Like interest rates, for example, in Canada for our mortgages, I don't know what it's like in the States, have been insane lately. Like people are going to be living in the street soon because they can't afford to pay for their apartment rent, let alone figures. So I think it's absolutely the case that you should only buy what you truly feel like you need for your collection at this point. Unless you're a wealthy person, then do what you want. But you know, some of the figures that I've locked in lately haven't necessarily gone to waitlist right away like I suspected they would. Like the symbiote Spider-Man that had been recently solicited. I locked that in day one because I honestly didn't think it was going to last 24 hours. And it's still available. You can still pre-order it. But then I've put myself on, I think, about 5 different wait lists so far this year for other figures. And all of those wait lists have converted. So whether is that people pulling out of their deals because, again, economy's tough, or was getting put on the wait list part of that sales conditioning of give us your money now and we got you. A lot of people don't cancel. Like movie subscriptions are the same way, or television subscriptions. Like how many things have you subscribed to in your life that you just do the 10-day grace period for, and then 3 months later you realize you're still paying for the membership, right? As soon as Sideshow or those companies have your 25 or 30 bucks, it's a whole lot harder to remember to cancel or to plan to do it if you change your mind. And that's how they'll make bank. So I think it has changed, but I don't think it'll last this way forever. I think if the economy strengthens again, I think having more stock availability makes sense. Or they should go to timed pre-order windows where like they only give us an opportunity to buy that figure for a certain period of time, and then only make really about that allotment of figures to ensure they're not sitting on dead stock everywhere and having to pay for storage. It's been interesting because Exo6 lately, the Star Trek company that I talk about a lot, they've had a lot of figures that had gone waitlist or like sold out status, and magically a bunch of them are reappearing back on their website again for stock availability, kind of out of nowhere. So again, same question, is that people canceling their orders, or was it a tactic to get sales that didn't necessarily pan out? Now they're sitting on a bunch of stock and needing to sell it. So poses a lot of questions, but does create a little bit of stress for the hobby for sure.
Beautifully said, Ben. Fucking beautiful. Anyone else want to take a crack at this?
Just as, I guess, so going from Nopo to Dopo again, and then like Dopo, Nopo, Dopo.
I'm at like month po, or like 2 month po.
Sounds like a...
Not as catchy. Mopo.
Sounds like a menstrual thing.
What's a mopo?
Anyway, here's my responsibility as a streamer coming up. I have made a lot of mistakes collecting, and I think we used to give Zach a lot of shit for buying and then selling shit immediately. I think I've sold way more shit and expensive shit than Zach has. Like I've bought and sold so much shit.
I love it when Eddie buys stuff because I'm like, I'm gonna make him a deal on pennies on the dollar in 6 months.
Yeah, dude.
Poor Eddie.
Be smart with how you collect, and it's hard to gauge, but I would just say don't fall into FOMO. Like Ben said, waitlists are converting a lot. So even if it does go to waitlist, Marco said something the other day that they're trying. I think it was Marco. It was either Marco or Ben that they're trying to. Hot Toys is trying to like teach their, or like put into their to the collector's head that they have to pre-order now, or they're trying to install that into their head.
Conditioning.
Conditioning. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I could see that a little bit now. So I don't know, but I would just say don't pre-order anything. I don't even like to pre-order anything that I don't have the money for now anymore, because I've noticed that's gotten me in trouble. So now I don't even really like to pre-order. I kind of just put it on my wish list, and that's my pre-ordering. Like it's on my wish list there. And if it goes to wait list, hopefully my wait list converts. It's hard to tell, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta play. It's better to maybe have FOMO than it is to lose money. I've lost so much NRDs. I've lost money on buying and reselling that, like, I definitely lost way more than if I would have waited. And even if it did sell out and I had to pay a premium, that premium I would have paid would have been less money than I lost on NRDs. So, like,
that's a good
just point. That's what I'm doing going forward, being more careful. And then, especially if you collect multiple scales and multiple price points of things, statues have gotten really popular in the last couple of years, and that makes it super hard and to collect like Hot Toys as well. So just be careful and kind of know your budget. And
to thine own self be true. Know your budget. Know what you want to collect.
Let's
and don't let anyone tell you how to collect. If you want to get a statue, you have no fucking idea who the fuck she is, just do it. It's your collection on anyone else. You can learn later. You can watch all the YouTube videos and get caught up in a day.
You could.
That's true.
So, I guess to Eddie's point, and then I guess the chat's comment, maybe to put a positive spin on it, I haven't seen this video. Frankly, I don't really care if we were called out, but it just doesn't really bother me. But I had seen an interesting video from Will the other day, Will Fox Vacation. I like Will, he's a good guy. But the video is a clip from his Lights Camera Collect show. But he had basically asked, like, advice from YouTubers, should you listen to it? And I've told Will this many times privately, and I commented it on the video as well, but I feel like as YouTubers, you know, with whatever small amount of influence we wield, right? We don't have, you know,
it's like 2.5 inches of influence.
But yeah, about 3 inches of influence. Okay. Ben, don't fucking.
Pretty close. That was close.
But I feel that it's our job to share our thoughts and experiences, our highs and our lows. But for us to try and influence how people collect, I feel that's so yucky. Like I don't think that we really should be trying to do that. And it goes back to the Dopo stuff, right? Like, you know, I love Brian and Chris, I really do. And I told them this when this whole thing was going on, but I had felt that it was a dangerous precedent that they were kind of getting involved in. And throughout their collecting journey, they were canceling a bunch of pre-orders, losing a bunch of deposits, also, you know, kind of putting some shops in a bad position, right? When someone's canceling 10 orders, that shop has those things on order for them. They've already committed to that. They can't just back out as easily. And it just, ever since then, you know, seeing how many people lost how much money, I just feel that we, even as a really small part of this hobby, have, you know, responsibility to, I guess, be responsible with whatever influence that we have. And so I don't really, you know, engage in that. Every once in a while, I'll maybe do a little bit of sort of boycott, like everyone should boycott this, but it's mostly in good fun, and it's also just to like help out community members. But in general, I try to really just give my thoughts and opinions and how I collect, but I would never try to push any of those thoughts or opinions on anybody else. Cram says Dopo. So what Dopo was,
Dopo.
A lot of YouTubers, and it's not just Brian and Chris, but a lot of YouTubers a few years ago would push this like day one pre-order, like you're pre-ordering the second it hits Sideshow. But you know, you would end up with, you know, a few $100s a month coming out of your account in payments first and foremost. And then you'd also, when those figures came ready to ship, you know, if you weren't doing payments and you decided to cancel, you would lose a lot of money, you know, $30, $40 in NRD. You know, if you're canceling 10 at a time, that adds up really quick. So I just thought it was a really weird time for the hobby. But yeah, I guess, Dean, what responsibility do you feel that you have just in general?
I feel like I've been
as
pretty
well?
consistent. I always tell people, buy what you like. It's not my collection. I mean, we could offer some advice like, hey, this figure's not, you know, people don't seem that excited. They're probably not going to be a lot. Like, if you want it, you should get it. You know, just like a casual advice on like how we think the market's going to go. But yeah, it's like, if you don't want the figure, don't buy it. I even said it back when Krennic was coming out. I was like, I don't like the character enough to buy this figure, even if I think it's going to be worth like $500. And it ended up being a very expensive figure. It's like, I don't want it in my collection, so it's like I'm not gonna like be pressured into buying it. And don't pressure people. Don't feel pressure. Just buy what you like. I like Robotech. A lot of people don't.
He didn't like Robotech, and I put one Facebook post, and then I influenced.
Okay,
Ian.
how dare you? I have always loved Robotech. You just rekindled the flame.
I rekindled the love. OG fan says no FOMO when you Dopo. Collect your way, people. Ben, as someone that streams a lot, you have a little corner of the internet you've carved out for yourself. What responsibility do you feel to, well, maybe not, magnum amount of inches. What do you feel is your responsibility as a streamer?
Oh, I mean, being honest, right? Being as true to yourself as possible. Because every piece of content that we release, whether it's a casual conversation or a video you've tried to craft and put out there for people to watch, is not only a representation of who you are, but my memory is terrible. I can't remember lying to people. So I'll get caught in a lie really quickly. My mom used to make fun of me for that. She'd be like, "You're a terrible liar because you have the worst memory." And whenever somebody is not consistent with their personality, it's kind of akin to lying for me. Like, you can't keep that up forever because it's an act, it's a show, and eventually people will see through it. And totally be able to call you on it and then have video reference of it. So absolutely be consistent, be yourself. I don't claim to collect every hot toy that it comes out, because there's no way I could afford that. There are people listening probably right this minute that have hundreds more figures than I'll ever own. And they still tune into the show and enjoy it because we like having a fun conversation with the boys. We have a good laugh. We keep it light because it's supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a hobby. I don't care for the drama and all the stuff that happens with other channels. Like, it doesn't matter. If you tune into my show, you tune into Collecting Weekly, you're going to find out who I am, the things that I like. And if you like that too, you'll subscribe. And if you don't, you probably won't. So just be consistent. Be who you are. Michael Mann says, "This mofo don't dopo and frequently suffers from FOMO." Not totally wrong.
That was a
good
comment of the day.
You're a lyrical genius. Although, Zach, I will say I've never wanted to buy dinosaurs and Gandalf as much in my entire life before meeting you. So I am subtly influenced at times.
I think Ben has a little
my Gandalf
more
collection.
Ben has a little more responsibility than the rest of us because he has a responsibility of making me like Canadians again. So
wow.
Ben
That's an
has
uphill
that
battle.
Ben has Canada on his shoulders for the Americans, I would say.
Badfish is a good backup, though. He's a lovely guy.
Badfish is a sweet.
He's a lovely guy.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Marlon says no content creator should. No content creator shouldn't influence anything. That's a lot of double negatives, but I appreciate what you're trying to say.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing: like, even if we like actively don't try to influence, people are gonna listen to us and be like, "Well, Zach's cool. I want to be like Zach."
I said it.
You gotta. I feel like people gotta.
I feel
remember...
like those people might have, Never mind.
Wow, how dare you! Don't even say what you fucking thought you were gonna say.
This may be like.
Are you fingering
like
an orange?
Yeah, I'm fingering Pac-Man.
Sorry, I couldn't take you seriously.
This might be a like harsh opinion, but even you guys got to remember, even though we talk about toys, we're talking to grown adults, not kids. So, that's why I like this channel. We share our experiences. We share our experiences with distributors, with pre-ordering, with selling, with losing money. All of our experiences we share, and we let you know the good and the bad, and then it's up to you to do with that information as you will, as the grown adult that you are. If you're a kid, you still have to get permission from your parents to watch YouTube. So
if you're a kid, don't be watching this. Actually,
I wouldn't watch this show mostly because I say bad stuff. So if you're a kid, I don't recommend you watch. But
Bertus says if Zach starts collecting something, I immediately stop. Just kidding. How dare you?
How
dare you? That's the comment of the night.
That's fucked up.
The Flash, chosen by Dean, was the movie of the week. Worlds collide when the Flash uses his superpowers to travel back in time to change the events of the past. However, when his attempts to save his family inadvertently alters the future, he becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation. With no other superheroes to turn to, the Flash looks to coax a very different Batman. Coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescued in prison.
That's the
Kryptonian. Wow, albeit not the one he is looking for. That would be 2 points, Burtis. So I did not want to watch this movie when it was in theaters, when it was on HBO Max. For me, it was kind of hard to separate the actor from. No, I said I was excited to watch it.
You didn't want to watch it. You're like, I
literally said I've been looking forward to watching this. God, you made me lose my train of thought, Eddie. Anyways, it's hard to separate. It's hard to separate the actor from the work, especially when there's two of this same actor in this movie. I will say, though, this movie was a lot better in a lot of ways I wasn't expecting. I think it suffers from the typical superhero trope where like every serious moment has to be interrupted by a joke, which is just terrible. Like Wonder Woman saved the city from this thing that was going to kill everyone in 2 hours, and then there's like a truth lasso bit. Like, didn't quite need that. And I will say that there were a lot of moments. Now I was watching on like a not great television, and I don't know if it would have been better or worse in the theater, but I just feel like it on my television, the CGI looked pretty sus in a lot of scenes. The way that Flash ran, which is his primary mode of using his powers, just looked awful. I will say though, the electrical effects, like there was a lot that looked good, a lot that looked really bad. I don't know. I think the director at one point said that it was intentional that it looked bad. It was supposed to look bad. I didn't quite buy that. That's what I say about my show. It's supposed
an artistic
to be bad.
choice.
Did you see the scene when he doesn't have his powers and he starts running? It kind of felt like they were making fun of him.
Of the way
scene.
that
that was funny.
Some shocking parts of this movie. I did not expect. Like, I guess when they kind of realized that it was pointless to try to keep trying to fix that timeline. God, it was crazy. I was not expecting to see. I guess I don't know if we should spoil it or not, but there was a character that died, and then that's when they started trying to go back in time. But I was like, "Oh shit!" I
feel like you could spoil it.
Yeah, it's been on HBO for
a
week.
So when
nobody's watched it,
Batman and Kara, when they died, I was like, "Oh shit!" We were texting, and I was like, "Dude, this movie's fucking awesome!" And like 2 seconds later, she got stabbed in the stomach. It's wild. I was not expecting that. But overall, really good movie. The end, I won't spoil the end, but the last like 1 minute fucking floored me. I was like, holy shit. Definitely worth watching the movie just to get to that point. There was also a lot of really fun cameos of Christopher Reeves, rest in peace. George Reeves, I guess, rest in peace also. Seeing Nicolas Cage as Superman from the canceled Superman film was pretty cool.
Fighting a spider.
I guess I don't know if that was supposed to be part of his movie.
Story. That was
Oh, was it really? Okay. Well, then that's really cool.
They wouldn't do the Spider-Man film, or sorry, the Superman film with Nick Cage unless he was fighting a giant spider. And so it's cool that we got a chance to finally see that.
Wait, they didn't do it because he was fighting a spider?
They wanted whoever wrote the script was like, I'll do this movie with Nick Cage as Superman, but the two stipulations were, I can't remember the first, but the second was that he had to be fighting a giant spider. As part of his villain.
Cram said, "Did we watch the same movie?" I don't know. Supergirl was awesome, and actually, like, I'm not the biggest. I still think Christian Bale is still my favorite Batman, but they showed so much fucking love to Michael Keaton in this movie. He was so fucking badass.
It was great.
Awesome.
I thought it was a really cool send off for the character, but yeah, the movie was super fun to watch. I didn't hate almost any of it. The CGI definitely horrendous. It's just not good. I think the excuse of it's supposed to look like that is like kind of goofy, but whatever.
That's what I said about my hair today.
I like I really like the interaction between Flash Prime and Flash from the new timeline, because Flash Prime is very
Transformers in this movie, and I missed it, or Optimus Prime was Transformers. What movie?
No,
did
but
you
like
watch?
Prime, like the main one, the main Flash.
Okay.
He's because they're both called Barry. It's going to be confusing. So Flash Prime, Barry Prime. He's very socially awkward, right? His family got torn apart when he was very young. He's really awkward around people that we've seen in the other movies. And this new Barry is very sociable. He doesn't stop talking. He likes to run his mouth. He gets his powers. He's very excited, and he's like not listening to Barry Prime. And they have like this moment where Barry Prime is like, dude, can you please shut the fuck up? Like, you don't know how easy you have it. Like, and the new Barry doesn't really understand. And then Barry Prime kind of goes back into his shell. He's like, look, I'm just not good with people. And like they kind of have this like moment together where they're like, okay, like we understand each other. Let's just get through
How
this.
dare you, Graham? Graham said this movie was like 65 was to Zach, except I could not get past the first like 10 minutes to 60. I couldn't make it 6.5 minutes into fucking 65.
So, all the scenes with Batman were phenomenal. I thought that was great. I thought Barry Prime losing his powers was a little goofy because it's like, you know, he's going to get them back. Like, why even bother? It didn't really affect the movie all that much that he didn't have his superpowers through most of the movie. And then they
actually didn't mind that.
I was just like super annoying.
It's like in Iron Man movies, like when his suit doesn't work, like Iron Man 3, or like you have to take away, and that's what I thought they were gonna do with Mando, right? Like take away his Beskar because he kind of relied on it too much. You got to take it, we got to strip back and then build him back up. I actually don't.
The only thing that bugged me about that is in Flash's story, it's supposed to be a big fucking deal when he breaks different speeds and when he learns new different techniques, and the new Flash
learned it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that bugged me about it.
CW Flash took, what was it, 9 seasons to establish all of his powers?
So my biggest problem with the movie, and I understand that this is a Flash movie, but the big fight with Zod is just kind of like a nothing burger. Like, it's like, look at this crazy action. And then there's literally no resolution for it. It's like, well, I'm just going to go back in time and do all this stuff. So it's like you get these cool characters and these cool moments of action. And then it's like, all right, I'm out of here. And like, those characters are just kind of left to the wayside. In the grand scheme of like all the shit that's happening with the Flash, I guess it's not super important, you know? But it just seemed kind of like, well, that was a bunch of setup for nothing. But yeah, that was kind of my biggest complaint. It was like Supergirl and Batman were just kind of like an afterthought. It felt like in like the apex of the movie. It was like, all right, see you later. And he ran away. But I didn't hate it. I thought I was going to. Everyone said like super negative stuff about it. So when I was watching it, I was like, I don't hate this. So that's why I picked it for movie of the week.
Yeah, I was like you guys. I don't hate this movie either. I enjoyed a lot of it. Obviously the Keaton stuff is nostalgia, and that's the best part of it, and that's amazing. But also, I wasn't a big fan of Ezra Miller as Flash when we first saw him. And I wasn't a big fan until the Snyder cut of Justice League, and then he grew on me more. And then I feel like in this movie, he grew on me a lot more, because I like that you could see his growth when you compare young Barry to current Barry. And he can see how annoying he was and how he's grown as a person and matured, and I like that plot of the story. And I also love the plot with whatever that evil time. What was the name of that character? The evil.
I was so confused. I was so confused.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Dark
is.
Flash.
Dark Flash. Whatever that was confusing, but I like the moral of it, like how. I feel like that's a spoiler for the movie, so I won't say that. But like how that whole thing wrapped up, I feel like that was a good plot for me and a good character growth kind of thing with him and Young Flash. And so I liked that a lot. And then the CGI was really, really bad, but I liked what they showed in the CGI. So that was cool to see, like Nicolas Cage and all the old actors and even Adam West. That was really cool and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that was cool. And then obviously the end was a really cool cameo for me. Although I feel like it would have been a lot cooler with maybe a more liked character or a more liked actor. But that was really fucking cool for me. So I liked it. If I had to score it, I'd say 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I would rewatch it. The only thing I didn't like, and I said this beforehand, is the baby scene at the beginning is real cringy for me and stupid, in my opinion. But I didn't like that at all. But
I didn't mind that at all. I thought it was funny. I just
Elvin
didn't
J.
get. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Elvin J with a 9.99 says, my biggest problem was that they didn't adapt the Flashpoint paradox, especially since they knew before it released the universe was being reset. It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Great comment, and thank you for the super chat, Alvin, because I totally agree with that. If you guys have ever not seen the animated series film, The Flashpoint Paradox, it is the movie that this movie should have been, that unfortunately it just wasn't. I showed up to this film, though, for the Keaton stuff. I couldn't wait to see Keaton as Batman again, and to be honest, those parts for me didn't disappoint. He was a badass. His range of movement in the suit was unlike anything we've ever seen before. He kicked some ass. And I thought his death scene was cathartic. I liked that he said to Barry, which felt like he was saying to us as an audience, like, thanks for bringing me, or you brought me back. Like, you already brought me back. That teared me up a little bit, because I was like, yeah, heck yeah.
You said your favorite line.
I didn't actually like that. That was the one part of the Batman scene that I felt was a little forced in. Damn. Like when he says the "Let's get nuts" line to the Joker in the first film, it comes out of him. It's just like wild man, right? Like he's trying to be wild because he wants to scare the Joker a little bit, in the sense of like be at least like slightly intimidating. The like, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts thing, I was like, okay, they just added that because they're like, people know that line, so like, let's throw that in there. I felt like they'd never watched the context of the original scene. Pissed me off. But anyways, I did like Supergirl. I thought she was a badass. I was sad that they killed her off, to be honest. You're right, Dean, when you say the whole movie is kind of a nothing burger, because it's one of those time travel movies that like the only thing that can fix it is to erase it. So everything we just watched for the first 2 hours just needs to be erased, and the movie didn't really need to happen, and you could just technically go back.
But he has to learn that.
No, but like he doesn't learn that, and that's my biggest complaint with this movie, is that he goes back, he allows his I feel like I have to spoil it a little bit. So for the next 30 seconds, please spoiler warning for this film. He goes back and lets his mother die. He takes the tomatoes out of the cart to put the world back together. And then immediately goes and takes the can of tomatoes and puts it on a different shelf and gets his dad out of jail, which would immediately create an alternate timeline from what it should have been.
Yeah,
I'm
with
Ben.
On that.
Okay,
he didn't learn any lessons.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand the tomato thing. Like, did he put every tomato?
He just changed he changed where it was on the shelf. So, but like it
also
just
that
goes
moment
to
with
show
his
you that
mom,
he didn't learn his
I was
lesson.
tearing up, bro. That was
dude. I did. That
too
was
real for me.
Why even let his mom die? Why even let his mom die if he's just going to change the timeline? And the fact that we never got a chance to see who killed his mom or why. There was no explanation there. Give us Reverse Flash. Give us anything, because they could have given us a crazy wicked storyline like we saw with Flashpoint Paradox and wiped it out anyways with the universe changing, like Alvin J said, and they missed their opportunity. I am heated about it. I still liked it. I still had fun watching it. I will say, both times.
Time out. I got a question.
But I was heated about it.
I have a question, and I don't really care about these movies, to be honest. But I remember, I think it was Justice League. His dad is in jail. His dad was in jail because they thought he murdered his mom, right? Or was he in jail for something totally different? Okay.
Yeah, that's always been why he's in jail.
Okay, correct. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I don't recall this, but
okay, I have a question. Okay, Cram asks, how does his mom not recognize him? He was a little boy when that happened. He was like 8.
You kind of feel like she does recognize him.
That's what I felt, Eddie.
Yeah, I felt like when he's telling her
like
the
hugs
story,
him and like
I feel like then
touching
she
his
realized
face.
who he was.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or she's really intimate with strangers.
Bro, I was like, I need to go shopping more.
Yeah, because she's not bad looking, low-key.
So let me ask you guys this. Did watching this movie change your mind on any of the collectibles? Like, oh, I need a Supergirl now.
No.
Or, oh, I need a
just Keaton.
Flash.
I really want. No. Oh, and I don't know. I kind of like that Keaton bat suit Flash, just because it's the bat suit Flash. You know.
That was funny.
Oh, you like the
Did
like
any
the
of you guys
chopped
watch
off
the end
ears?
credit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, there was an end credit?
Yeah, with Aquaman.
It's so stupid though.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. It was silly.
Shit.
I was like, why even include this?
Yeah, I know. That's what it felt like. Like, why?
But
I don't know.
yeah, I
Graham.
liked all the
I don't
little
know.
cameos like Tamora Morrison. That was funny.
If you can
Your
turn your
wife
brain
is-
off, it's still fun
That was
popcorn
good.
movie. Like it's still fun to just put on and watch. I just like it's I don't know. It
Dude,
just
the
could have
scenes
been
with
so much more.
Batfleck were badass too. The
Do you think he looked
motorcycle
like this?
scene?
Do you think he looked like his
That
hot
was
toy?
a good scene.
No,
No.
He looked like Affleck.
Let's move on here. Our movie for next week is The Big Short, chosen by Marco, so we'll watch that. Dean, we have some Patreonies to thank, and then we have a giveaway here in a little bit.
Yeah, give a quick shout out to Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Kevin Scratching Me, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Giz, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Billy Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krapp, Big Old Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomansky, Rick DiGregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukothri Wah, Derek B, Arias Portillo, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Madon, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer.
Wow, look at these
Bunch of
angels.
Angels.
For September, October, we have the 3000 sticker done by Manny the Man Gonzalez. And apparently we're doing a spooky sticker, so that's to be announced. We'll see if Manny can't come up with something well, that's I just think spectacular, but spooky. So be sure to tune in to see what that is. Patreon starts at $5 a month for the digital tier, $7.50 for the Sweet Angel, $15 for the Certified Crispy, which is figure fix and the certificate, and $25 for the What a Guy tier. It's doubles of all the stickers we send and the Pog Deluxe set. YouTube channel members, we have Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andres IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Blurred Dad Life, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Collector, Equan, Fat Batman, Gare Bear, Gotham Cenobites, Jake, Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Card, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Eddie Money Mendez, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Knight, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 16 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S-Beam, Sam Giss, Slifer, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunnyvale Russ, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Cartel, and Zeke. You can become a YouTube channel member by clicking the link here for 99 cents if you are in our Patreon membership, or $2.99 if you are not. You get loyalty badges and chat emojis. TeePublic as well. Get that 3000 sticker up there soon as a shirt design. And looking at the network, Brenton was ill this Sunday, so we took off for Question of the Week. We had live unboxing yesterday. OFAC episode 100 is Thursday. Very excited for that. Very proud of them. And Small Talk episode 100 is next Thursday. After Dark tomorrow at 10:30, Live and Let Dice. Cody was under the weather as well. Everyone's getting sick right now. Knock on wood for Oxcon that we can all remain healthy. But that'll be rescheduled for 2 weeks from now. And then Bricks and Brews, I think they're planning maybe this Sunday, next Sunday. Eddie, do you know for sure?
I want to say it was the 9th. I'll double check. It's this Sunday coming up, no?
Perfect.
Whatever
yeah,
this Sunday is.
Yeah. For giveaways for the channel, we have the Venom Let There Be Carnage giveaway for OFAC. I believe that will be done live on Thursday. You have to be in the chat, I think, to get that giveaway if you want a chance to win it. Donated graciously by Lane the Legend Kramer. We also have the Small Talk giveaway. Looks like there will be 2 winners that will be chosen at random on episode 100. To enter this giveaway, you have to subscribe to this YouTube channel, obviously. Follow at SmallTalkCW on Instagram and comment on their giveaway post. The prize is a 50th Lucasfilm Droids Black Series Boba Fett and the Spider-Man 2 PS5 figure. So I believe there'll be 2 different winners. And you can also, if you're watching on your television, scan that QR code. It should take you to their post there. Dean, it's that time. We have a Collector Zone 3,000 subscriber giveaway. We've buried it as long as we could. Let's pull up the randomizer again.
I've put my name in so many times. I better win this, Pat.
Okay, well,
all I can
if
say.
you win it, I'm going to draw somebody else.
Wow. I can't win.
So we have a lot of folks here. Did
rigged.
someone say 3K? Dean, play a random song for Alvin, please. A random little sound bite there.
Okay. I love doing that.
Let's see here. So we have a lot of people. A lot of giveaway opportunities. We appreciate everyone that tuned in thus far.
Oh, I like that.
1,146. Let me go to random.org. Random.org.
Michael Hannon is going to win. That's my guess.
12-inch.
Let's see. How do I just go to home? Oh, there we go. So 1 to 1,146.
That's a lot,
Dean,
dude.
do you have anything to say before we run this?
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Eddie, do you have anything else to say?
No.
Anyone?
No,
I think
dude,
we're all ready to go
3,000
home.
subs, dude. We've been waiting for that. I can't wait any longer. Dude.
I can't wait any longer either. So here's what we'll do. We're going to pick the winner today. We're going to announce the winner. My email is zack@collectingweekly.com as per usual. You have to claim it by next Tuesday. If you don't claim it by next Tuesday, we're going to pick someone again next show if it's not claimed. If it gets claimed, I'll post that it was claimed so we don't get everyone's hopes up.
Are you only announcing the winner here, or are you going to make a post on Auxiliary, or are you going to make posts on Instagram, or is
maybe.
it just here? You have to watch the
I don't
stream.
know. I kind of like the whole, like, I'm trying to get views, so I don't know. We'll think about it.
All right.
Let's see. 1 to 1,146, 199. So we saw it live. Let's go to the second list here, the random.org list. 199 is Zach Jamal. Congratulations, Zach. Great first name. Love that first name. So Zach Jamal, you have 7 days.
Confused by that name.
That better not
to
be your
contact
burner
me.
account.
Maybe it's Jamel. It's with an E.
Zach Jamel,
That's
ZACHJAMEL. So if you're a listener,
Dean's
if you're
Jewish
a
brothers.
subscriber, shalom, my brother. We hope that you can contact me again. My email is zach@collectingweekly.com. Please contact me from the email that you registered your giveaway entries in. That would be fantastic. But Zach, congratulations! You'll get the
Congrats.
Carnage
Mike.
Collector's Edition donated by Collector Zone. They were so nice to donate that for us for the milestone. So we can't say thank you enough to Marcos and his team over there for that wonderful donation. But we really appreciate it. No, it's not an alias. I'll be honest. Even
Definitely
if I won
his
this, I don't think I need
was
this.
Zach.
Zach,
It's
that's an
casual.
alias, dude.
How dare you, Dean? How fucking
I
dare
won.
you use my own clips against me?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All right, so let's see here. So Zach, congratulations. Anyways, do you guys have anything that you guys want to plug? Anything on your channels before we kick this one off?
This is my channel.
Anything that you'd like to talk about, Dean? That you would like to?
No, again, thank you everybody for 3,000 subs. That's so cool. I know a lot of you are listeners, so you're not really in the YouTube sphere, but 3,000 subs on YouTube has been very hard to get to. So I don't want to discount the people that just listen because there's a lot of them. Probably like much more than just watch on YouTube. So definitely shout out to all you guys that are listening wherever you're listening at. And again, thank you to 3,000 subs on YouTube and those who come and watch us live on the YouTube studio audience, as I like to call them. So
Wow.
thank you guys. We appreciate it. We really do.
Wow. So, apparently Zach or Zachary Jamel had a ton of entries, so he should be listening to the show. He has like
Hopefully
quite a
so.
few. You almost said it's him, but everyone's saying it's them, so I don't know who to believe. But Ben, sorry, go ahead.
Mystery Man. No, honestly, I was going to shout out you guys. Again, like I said at the beginning, congrats on 3,000. That's a big win. Thanks for bringing me into your fold, which sounds dirtier than I intended.
I'm going to bring you into my fold on Oxfam.
Hope you've showered that
did
fold.
you enter?
Thank you for bringing me into the channel and giving me a voice in the community
Labias
and
are
helping me
folds.
with my own channel, which I appreciate. Alvin J says, with a $9.99, congrats on 3K once again.
Jumbo, baby.
Thanks, Alvin, for your generosity.
Thank
buddy.
you, Alvin. Appreciate it, bud.
I will say this coming Sunday, we're going to have one more episode of Let's Get Nuts before I take 2 consecutive weeks off. I've got friends coming down from Ontario to visit me here in Canada. And then the following week, I'm going to be with you guys at OxCon and not on Let's Get Nuts. So if you like the show, tune in this Sunday. Let's Get Nuts on the Ben Thomas Show. We've been having lots of fun over there. And then there'll be 2 weeks off before the next one.
There are a lot of things that are going to happen that week.
So many things.
4 days, 5 days.
You and I, we can do a Let's Get Nuts little stream in the bathroom or something, Eddie. Like, you know.
Ew.
Wow.
He's gonna show you his nuts. Is what he just said.
It's not gonna be Let's Get Nuts. It's gonna
show him
Let's
the
Touch
brain.
Nuts.
We're going to pull our nuts out.
What is happening?
It depends on how much alcohol that exists in this.
We might have an orgy, actually.
Wow, I don't know if I signed up for that. Is that what the Folds comment was about?
Wow.
I'll take the elbow. I'm excited. I'm super excited for this, guys. I don't know if you guys are excited, but I'm super fucking.
Wait, for 3,000 or for OxCon?
No, both. I mean, 3,000 is huge. It's crazy to me that I'm pretty sure when I started watching you guys, you were at 6. So to be at 3, it feels like it was just yesterday that it was 6. So that's crazy, man. And even though I know you say that every 1,000 was the hardest, but I feel like the jump from 1 to 3 was really fucking fast. I don't know. It felt fast.
From 0 to 1,000, way slower than 2 to 3. Yeah, but 3 has been not easy. I think the 2, it was like, oh man, we got this.
So that's super exciting for you guys, and you guys deserve it. But I'm just excited to hang out and meet Ben in person for the first time, and a couple people actually, because that weren't for last year there, or the year that I was there.
We have to get an OxCon poster and then everyone sign it. That'd be dope. Like all the content creators, like pretty much everyone there, basically.
We should set up a camera and like all jump and try and get us all like freeze framed in the
end. I don't think I can make it.
I'm not really much of a jumper.
Well, fuck me then.
No, fuck. You know how many of these guys weigh over 250 pounds, motherfucker? You want us to break our knees? Huh?
Well, this is gonna be Eddie's first OxCon, yeah, because he came down.
Well, Eddie
for the
was
movie.
like an OxCon 0.0. He was the initial OxCon.
Yeah, that was when we did the movie theater.
So the dry run.
That sounds fun, actually.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I still don't know if
that's why I'm
getting or not.
That's why this one seems even more exciting because there's so much
you're gonna meet
more
like
people
everyone
going
in person, yeah.
Yeah. And Zach's got a new house now, and
oh yeah, I do have a new house. I forgot.
So should be, and we're gonna have an Airbnb. This is like a OxCon fraternity that we're going to. We're gonna fucking have keg stands, and I'm pretty sure someone's gonna end up fucking Danny Lee. So it's gonna be fun, man.
Wow. Speaking of Danny Lee, I got this damn magic card in the mail.
Holy crap!
Why is Danny Lee on the cover?
What the fuck? Oh god, that's the Asian Gandalf.
Yeah, look at this.
I hate to see it.
Wow. Okay.
That's Danny Lee.
Jesus Christ, man!
I ain't never seen anything like that. Anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Ben.
I'm Eddie.
We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye.